White.
And I'm Avery Davidson. Thank you for joining us for This Week in Louisiana Agriculture, the only TV show bringing Louisiana farmers and consumers together every week.
If you've been through Baton Rouge lately, you've almost certainly passed the I-10-I-12 split. You know it because there's a traffic there is usually a burden.
But what you may not know is that the Burden Museum and Gardens are right there. As TWILA's Neil Melancon tells us, your tax dollars are helping to preserve a big part of Louisiana's history.
It's a swamp in the heart of a city. Those cars just past the trees you see are at the I-10-I-12 split in Baton Rouge, where thousands of commuters pass daily. And many of these trees, these poplar trees, are more than 200 years old and have been preserved here at the Burden Gardens. It's just one of the many features of the 450-acre spread just off Essen Lane that serves as an educational experience for school kids all year long, according to Director Jeff Caney.
We represent a multi-purpose facility here in that we have both landscape beds to demonstrate different types of landscaping as well as different trial gardens. Burden Museum and Gardens was donated to LSU by the Burden family about 50 years ago to be used for the Rural Life Museum as well as an agricultural research and extension service center. The interstate transects the property, and so one of the things that the Burdens did, very much of forethought, was to make sure that there's a way to get across the interstate. So we have a tunnel under the interstate that goes from one side to the other so that we can both transport our research from one side to the other and also our extension programming.
The volunteers here represent one of the many services Burden has to offer. Groups like the Camellia Society hold events here that helps beautify all of Louisiana. There's also space for honey production from the many hives here. That honey is available for sale, as well as the tomatoes grown in the greenhouses here. It helps take some of the burden off taxpayers while providing services to the community.
For the other part of the Botanic Gardens, we're also a research facility for the LSU Ag Center. So most of our research is directly related to plants. We do a lot of different research with both vegetables as well as small crops.
History is also preserved at the Burden Museum here. Outside, buildings from plantations across the state have been set up to show what life was like in the 1800s. Inside, relics from the past show how far both humanity and agriculture have come in the last 200 years.
The number of people and the amount of labor input that went into it was huge. Today, it's drastically changed with technology and precision agriculture.
There are memberships available to a couple part of the Burden Museum and Gardens, both of which are pretty cheap and offer a lot of perks. For that information, plus a list of events for you and your kids, we'll have a link on our website at twilatv.org. And Kristen, you know, it's just an amazing facility. That story can't possibly encompass everything that's there. I just found out about that boardwalk out into the swamp, and you could see the traffic passing there, but in that museum, there's all these really interesting pieces, and most of which are in the back there. They're kind of unlabeled. You never know what you're going to find back there.
Well, we always ask, would you bring me back? So did you bring me any of those beautiful flowers?
I did not, you know, and you're going to thank me this time for it, because right now the stinkhorn is blooming at the Burden, and it has a pretty pungent smell, so I don't think you would want any of that.
I guess I'll forgive you for that.
Thank you.
Melancon, thanks.